Welcome to our factory, Dongguan, Guangdong, China.
There's a lot of channels out there that teach us how to start a business. They sell us some course, they show us the end product after all the trials and tribulations have been worked through. And that's not what this channel is. This is the first video in a long series of starting a wall printing business. I believe that all of these 3D printing, these wall printing, all these new printing technologies or 3D robots, whatever you want to call them, that is the future. And instead of getting into 3D printing, which I think is amazing, I think that there are a lot of people making a lot of money. What I've decided to do is go into the wall printing space. Starting a business in the United States is tough. It's tough anywhere, but it's tough in America. A lot of the markets are saturated. And when you get to a certain age, I'm 42, you realize that you can either work for someone and make a decent living, or you can bet on yourself and really reach for the stars or fail. So in February of 2018, I decided that I wanted to start a clothing company for men. And I had no idea how to design clothes. I had no idea how to manufacture clothes. But I had worked for an entrepreneur who used to order entire shipping crates off of Alibaba for his cannabis business, straight from China. I had some previous experience with ordering items off of China. I worked for a cannabis investor in 2012-ish, and we were ordering a lot of the supplies from China, full shipping containers, like the ones you see on the back of 18-wheelers. So I was familiar with ordering and talking to people in China, and that might not sound like a big deal, but it's intimidating. As of right now, I need to write my salesperson an email regarding the freight company. So when you order something from China, it either goes on a boat or it goes on an airplane. My package, this wall printer I bought, is, I assume, coming on an airplane because it was shipped Friday or Thursday. But right now I need to know who the shipping company or the freight company is, because these are some of the things you're going to run into. You forget or you don't know what to ask for. And it is 10:47 in China. And I'm sure they have multiple time zones. Is like another thing that it's late there. And you'll notice when you talk to these reps, they're working all the time, which makes me think that they're part slaves. But there are certain times where they're not going to get back to you. And this one is one of them. So my previous experience, I have a $3,000, $1,400, a $1,600, a $100, a $1,600, a $1,600, a $1,600, a $2,350, a $108, and I just put a $6,800 order in with all the fees. So I'm starting to get familiar with ordering stuff off of Alibaba, but every time that you do, it's very, very nerve-wracking. Wall printing is a very cool technology. It's different from a mural. It's different from vinyl. It lasts way longer than both of those applications, and it can be washed, it can be cleaned, and it can be printed on any surface in a very short period of time, usually less than a day, usually less than 8 hours. Now, what I'm learning with wall printing is it's a very new technology, probably less than 10 years old as far as my research goes, maybe something like 6 where it actually became usable. And there's not a lot of companies doing it. Now, that can either be good or it can be bad. There are machines like this one, which run up to $50,000 a machine. And then there's machines like the one I bought, which are roughly $6,000. Now, that's a huge difference. What I found, though, is that with the 3D printers, it's the same thing. My friend runs one that costs $1,200. The buddy who put him onto 3D printing ran one that costs $500 or $600, and they make ones that go for infinity. So we're jumping into the wall printing business. The machine I bought, I'm very, very, very crazy when I spend money on stuff like this about what I'm getting. The machine prints both floors and walls. I got the extra track so it can go another 3 or 4 feet higher, and an extra track so it could go another 6 meters longer, which is probably OD, right? That's probably a little too much. I'm already, and we'll get into it later in the video, worried about how I'm even going to get a 400-pound box open in the parking lot of my apartment complex, and then get the machine upstairs and then use the machine. And these are all things we're going to go into in these videos. So 2 extra sets of ink. So you get a total of 3 sets of ink. All this other stuff. It came out to $6,600. How did I fund this? About a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, I started buying silver. And I got in roughly around 25 to 27. And I decided that since silver is taking a 40% plunge, I need an asset to be making money. Now, my true goal is starting a farm and raising animals, growing food, breeding catahoulas. But with the amount of money I have in the bank, which is to me 10 years ago would have been substantial, at least as far as buying property, I don't have enough. So I need to take another piece that can produce cash flow. What I'm learning later in life is that cash flow, they don't teach you in school. They teach you to go to work and get a job that pays you a salary. Every 2 weeks you get paid. You really just need cash flow all the time. That's how you get ahead, is something that is cash flow. This business is very exciting to me because it's a lot of lead generation, cold calling, and the application part is what the computer does. It's not, I don't have to be the artist. What I have to do is find people who need the service, do the design, help them with their design, and then get that on the wall. And, you're charging roughly between $150 to $225 a square foot. We're just going to run it at $150 a square foot to get hours in on the machine. The first part of buying something on Alibaba is you have to go to the Alibaba website. Buying anything from China, it feels crazy. Every single day you buy things from China. If you look at anything on your desk or it's probably made in China, but you're never actually buying things from China. So the first thing you need to know is that there is a time difference. And depending on what part of the country you're on, it could be 12, 14 hours. Now, when you get to Alibaba, it's pretty simple. All you do is you type anything that you want into Alibaba. Today, we're talking about UV wall printers, specifically the WFP-UV207. Okay? That's the one I bought. If you want to start a wall printing business, this is the video for you. If you want to start any business, this is how it goes down. It's a long, arduous process. Probably going to fail, but you have to go into this shit thinking that you're out. All right, so I already pulled up. This is the one that okay? I don't know why it cost me $6,600 when it says, this is the exact one, when it says $3,500. After, you got tariffs, you got shipping was $600, okay? They're putting on another magical $1,000 for their commission, most likely. But this is the machine. And I didn't realize how massive it was. So my recommendation to you when you start shopping on Alibaba would be that if you don't know what any of these companies are, because no one knows if any of these companies are even real. I mean, they are, but you know, it's China. It's like the moon. Have you been there? The first thing I recommend is you press the Alibaba guaranteed button. For whatever that button does, it just makes me feel better. It says guaranteed, says Alibaba. Okay. You can look into what it does. The most important thing I think you can do is click trade assurance. Trade assurance means that if you end up buying anything and you don't like it, like it's broken, it doesn't work, it's not what was in the contract, it's held in escrow until it's released. Now, I don't know how long it takes to get that shit back. I hope to never have to use it. If I do, if there was ever a problem, but that gives you peace of mind that you're doing good business. Now you can get a set for $1,000 here. It's the cheapest. I wouldn't go with the cheapest of anything. I think I originally landed on this one. The company that I chose, and I can't find it here now because it cycles differently every time. And that's something I'm just learning. Is I picked them because they've been in business 11 years. So when we go back to my people here, we can see the store rating is a 4.8. To me, that's a little bit low. Should be like a 9, but everything was fine. And then you clicked over here, and they've been doing business on Alibaba for 11 years. Okay. That's just how it is. That sounds like a long time to me. They're verified, and this is their name. So originally, I think I was working with a cheaper model. You click on here, you look at the pictures, you know, does this, it does that. And here's a picture of it printing. This is the wall printer I bought. It also does floors. So I assumed 4680. My shit was 5,600 before all the taxes and fees and extras. So I assume she takes $1,000 for her commission. And then you press chat net. And this is the lady I've already been talking to. So it brings me up to our conversation. It pulls up this chat box and you say, hey, you know, I'm looking to buy the WUV 207, WFP UV 207. Can you send me a quotation for everything that's included in the package? And are there any monthly offers or discounts available to me? Mostly they'll get back to you instantaneously, which is crazy. But if you didn't know which one you wanted, you would go back to the main page here. Now, you can also just click on a random company. You can click chat. So this company pulls up an AI bot that you can just talk to. But you can write them a message, and then what will pop up on Alibaba is another screen. And it'll say, hey, do you want to talk to more suppliers? And it'll send out a request to everybody that when you click trade assurance and verified in that selection. So I recommend you email 3 companies, you get 3 quotes. That just makes life easy and it doesn't make life too complicated. So I spoke to Fanny Chen. She gave me a quote. Nice to meet you. I'm Fanny Chen. So she sends me this video here. Is you in front of me? She sends me another video printing like your menu. I'm just kidding. Some shit in China. In Mexico and China. Then Sends me video in the factory. I hope that's the size of the box I'm getting, but my shit has 6 of those. This thing is amazing. It's also humiliating.
Okay.
Getting ideas here. She sends me the floor capabilities. I assume all these machines are the same, but that would be like a bad assumption. I mean, it's printing banger. That's a game. I can watch these videos and the printed effect is quite good. Then I started having conversations with, where is she? Sherry Gow. She's sending me pictures of her going hiking with her kid, her husband here. Nice little pond. I always thought that they were like slaves and shit in the factories, but she's showing me that she has good quality of life. It's probably a better quality of life than I do, to be honest. She's got a kid and she's going hiking. And fucking crazy is that? We think that there are, we're trained to think that like they're having fun. I'm sitting here buying wall fucking furniture. So this was the first rep that I talked to. Her name was Sherry. She has a very nice business call. She's looking like she's in her sales. She's the head of Printometer. China's the first original manufacturer. They're all saying they're the first original manufacturer. I write here this long ass shit. I'm looking for this. And this is all chat GDP. Okay. On the piece, you can copy this. I'll put this in the. You can just email me for this. I hope this place finds you well. I'm launching a mobile well, blah, blah, blah. We do casinos, restaurants, and event. I'm interested in the P600 for both configurations, base. This is what I want. I'm not plug and play, starter kits, art, rip, all this shit. You just kind of pretend you know what you're talking about. And I'm looking for a complete plug and play bundle, everything essential to start professional neural printing, initial learning curve, additionally nice, some learning to good business off the ground. This is all chat GPT, okay? Hi, I'm Sherry. She sends me their regular shit, sends me her business card, sends me the company video. So you get your first rep, you talk to them,
Welcome to our factory, Dongguan, Guangdong, China. Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Sherry, the sales head of Pintara. We're the first manufacturer of the wall printer in China, with 15 years experience in the industry. Why is the wall printing business so popular now? Because the need of printing line designed and advertising is increasing, and the wall printer is an innovation solution. Many of our clients free events in just 20 days, so it's a pro ocean market. Let me briefly introduce our factory. For hardware and software, file system, and AI tools, every aspect is designed and manufactured by us. We have over 30 engineers, as every machine will have strict tests before shipment. Our clients are spread across North America, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. They apply the wall printer in different sceneries, such as the indoor decoration, outdoor attraction, goods, hotels, and museums, and so on. After the equipment arrives, we provide one-on-one installation guidance and add you to our VIP support group, where our engineer will assist you personally. The key for the business is the social media promotion. After order, we will send you high-quality pictures and videos for free, and then you can post them on your social media such as the TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and WhatsApp. This is very important for your business to launch very quickly. Does it right? We can arrange a video call, and then I can show you all details of the machine. Our marketing team will give you a customized market report and ROI analysis, and then we can work together. Look forward to hear from you.
Okay, so they're selling you. They speak perfect English. It's crazy to do business in China. You eventually talk to a couple of people. Talk to Fiona, talk to Fanny. Victor tried to hit me up from when we did the inquiries. And eventually I started talking to Cece because of the 11-year thing. That was like a big deal to me. We're going to go over the entire conversation with her. I'm going to show you why I settled with her. I'm going to skip through some stuff because I asked a lot of questions. And then in future videos, we're going to go over how the business develops because we have to do lead generation. We have to do walk-ins. We really have to get business. So Sherry called me a friend right off the bat. It's a very good technique used by the CCP. I have the quotes here. Okay. Hi there. What can I help you with today? My name is Joe G, blah, blah, blah. Thanks for the detailed info. I'll check with our team. I'm very sorry for not providing you the information time. Once again, I apologize. This is probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. Please provide your postal code, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here we go. So at first, she gives me the WP930. It's reasonably priced. And the WP930 doesn't do floors. It's a brand new design, abrasion resistant, came with a laptop. But you see, this is a good machine. It looks great, but it doesn't do floors. However, I probably should have got this one because it does get into a bag. And it prints things like this. They all print the same things. It's really just about the quality of the printer heads and the DPI on the machine. And she sends me a picture of it actually being printed. And I'm still not sure if these are loud in here. All right, so the machine does that. It can do stuff like this, stuff like this. The TXC WP930 is just a wall printer, and it was almost the same price. Now, it looks like the rails are smaller. It looks a little more portable, to be honest with you. But you don't have the availability or the option to put it on the floor and make income from printing floors. And then they also gave me the 8% off. All right, so blah, 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 blah. Then I start realizing that there's software I'm going to have to learn how to use. RIP software, Photoshop. I know how to use some of Photoshop, but I'm not familiar with RIP software and RIN and Better Printer. And these are just apps to use the machine. She says, this is the wall printer, but we also have the wall and floor printer. Would you like me to introduce you to our wall and floor printers? And I, for sure, thought that was a great idea. Okay, so this is the actual brochure for the machine that I got. It can be both track and wheel mounted. And then it's got the ground printer option. It's way bigger as far as more diesel compared to the original one. This is like real steel. I'm saying that now and it's going to come like flimsy. And it looks like it does good work. Like these are obviously not the highest quality resolution pictures I can see here. But this is really all I cared about was I needed an Epson head because Epson makes good printers. I needed to make sure it had these 2 pieces of software. Unfortunately, one of the companies was going to give me a bootleg Photoshop. I have to get Photoshop. And it says it goes up to 2800 DPI, but I think it only goes up to 1400, but that's still a lot. And then this is important too in wall printing. It's higher quality, the more passes that you go. So 8 pass, that's going to be like premium photos every time. But you kind of want to do 8 pass all the time. See? And then they care about you. They want you to be successful in your wall printing. So that's the WFP UV207. That's the wall printer I selected. And we're going to get down to the meat and potatoes. And here's the first video they sent me of the WFP-UV207. And I didn't think it was going to be that big at this point. The first video we've seen it printing. And this thing makes really, really high quality. And this thing makes really high quality paintings. As far as I'm concerned, made a good purchase. The extra tracks, the lower price. Another video here. And when I look at these, I'm mainly concerned with thing. Does it look? And I think this looks amazing. Really high quality. And it's different than a mural as well, right? This thing could print a mural. Also, on this machine, the computer is not connected to it. It's USB. I kind of had a little bit of trepidation with that because that just means one more connection point that might get screwed up. But if we're doing floors and stuff like that, it's just how it's going to have to be. They did this mural on the wall. Now, it looks to me like it might be at like a restaurant, or this is like where I would put, but it could just be in the factory. Then it paints right over the tracks. And literally takes the wall and leaves it exactly as it was. Basically, I said, okay, I'm in. Let's do this thing. I want the wall printer. I gave her my address, and she comes back to me and she says, hello, friend. I've checked and found that the shipping is $662. So the shipping was 10%. That includes tariffs. That includes getting it here allegedly. And then she tells me everything that led to that price. So at the actual amount, it was this much. But then I added extra ink. She creates the payment, which goes through trade assurance. Right here. And that means that the platform is the guarantor. So I'm covered she needs to do to keep up on her end. She tells me it's a legal transaction, and then she builds this trade assurance order. So you get your trade assurance order, says that she's waiting for her payment. There's the total price before, the percent that Alibaba takes. Then they do this 15-day shipping thing, which is like crazy. But right now, it's supposed to be here on Tuesday. And so it's only been a week. So to think that you're getting something from China in a week after you only paid a couple of days ago, I paid 7 days ago. So that's pretty crazy if it takes 8 days to get it. Ship by sea, they take care of all the taxes and duties and all that shit, and you're in business. So in this series of videos here, what we're going to do is in the next one or the one after, we're going to document delivery. We're going to document setting up the website. We're going to document cold emailing. We're going to document cold walk-ins. And the goal here is to build a business from the ground up using what we've learned from the past and just proving that you can kind of do anything that you want, but you have to go do it. This is a niche business. It's still unproven, right? Like in the video, she said it's a blue ocean. That means that the opportunity is wide out there. You just have to grab it, but it also means it's niche. So I appreciate you being here. This was a very long video, but I hope you get over buying stuff from Alibaba. Basically, I've done it thousands and thousands of dollars of business over the years from Alibaba. I showed you how to source a product on Alibaba and recommended that you hit up at least 3 people for quotations. And I showed you what happens after you pay. You go to dispatch and it takes 50 days depending on what the contract says. And then hopefully we'll be taking delivery. So I appreciate you being here. Please subscribe.